Hi, I'm just going to go over a quick little example, a couple examples of editing templates. I think it's something that most people are kind of weary of doing. Um, it, some of it can be a little more in depth when it comes to, let's say, if you have to do some coding, but we're always here to help you with that. So let's go to first. We'll go over a couple contract templates. Here usually you'll just have a contract added, but a lot of times you will have to add, like, let's say your own POs or account statement is another important one. Account statements are used on the organizations, like for uh, adding like leads together, events together, and sending out the statement, that sort of thing. Um, but let's go to a contract. This is probably what most people want to uh, do themselves, so I'll create a new one. All right, so here we go. So the contract, it's going to, of course, pull all this information from the lead itself. So you have to use these variables. If you need a variable, like if you want to just switch something up, they are here always. It'll open up a second screen for you, and these you can search. I usually do like the Control F and be like, okay, I want a variable for the customer name, that sort of thing. You type that in, and you can look up. Okay, here's the variable. If you just want the first name, last name, etc. And this is all different information. I don't know, maybe you want rental information. And it'll show you all the rental to it, rentals, if it's a vendor, that sort of thing. So this is here. This is very important. Anytime you're going to be using a template, um, this is information that you can pull from the lead with these variables. So let's go here, and you'll see where these are on the account, or on the template. We've got rental image, quantity, price, that sort of thing, totals, the deposit, everything. Now, so most people don't mess with this a whole lot. Like some people might want to come up here and be like, I want to see my surface, underneath the delivery, so you can just go surface, and I just happen to know that that is the variable for surface. There you go. Easy as that. You're going to show what surface is also on the lead. It's going to pull that directly from the lead for you. What most people want to change on here, if they're not going to do a whole lot other than, getting rid of this logo and putting your own logo there, is going to be under here. It's going to be like the terms and conditions of the quote, of the contract itself. You can, just edit what's here. Like, I just don't like the way this is worded. I want this added, that sort of thing. Some people will get rid of this whole thing, delete this, and put like maybe something your state needs to see, or something your state needs to see, or even your insurance company. And then you would leave this on the bottom so that it pulls that information from the contract page saying, it's been signed on this date. So leave this here. This would be the main area that you could just edit freely. Sometimes when you copy and paste things here, like say you want to get rid of this whole thing and do your own terms and conditions, if you, let's say you delete it and then you copy and paste here, the HTML that you're copying it from in the background can make it a little wonky, and sometimes we will have to go in here and get this fixed and cleaned up for you. But feel free to, again, as usual, let us know. Hey, I'm having a hard time with this contract. I can't, I think I need a little to know how to fix this side of it. A lot of times we'll just have to go in and fix it for you and clean up any, like I said, any HTML that carried over from your other template. So that's just general different changes you can make to your contract. Some people change this completely up top here. That again will probably take some HTML, if you wanted the design and everything changed, know how. So if you need help, let us know. That's the main, like the PO and everything. Most people don't do much different to this. This is just the PO that you're sending to a vendor. The account statement, of course, you probably don't want that. The account statement isn't as something that you can edit freely either, because this is all set up a certain way to pull from multiple leads, so that your customers can. I'm sorry, your customers can see what is still owed, maybe on a grouping of events. So that this, I wouldn't mess with this part too much. You can add information up here like you could on the contract, but this isn't something you'll find the need even to play around with so much. Another big one that people like to edit is the quote page or the checkout page. So let's pull up one of those. Now this looks like this when you are wanting to update it. So you can't just click on, because of course this looks more like this on your website. So you can't just click on this template and make changes. Now you can here, like maybe you want your event times, maybe you want this to show bigger and red or something. That you can, you do this. Maybe people keep forgetting to do their event times, something like that. You can do that. But when it comes to like wording, let's see. Like maybe you need to change some wording, like I don't want it to say, I don't know, maybe you wanted to say full name. You would come here, and I'm going to do a search again. I do search a lot for these sort of things. That's not it. There's a lot of names. Probably should have picked a better example. I'll do customer name. Oh, here it is, right there. So maybe you have customers that are only trying to put a first name in or something. You can change this to full name. Save. Like I said, this is one of those ones that does take some know-how sometimes, of like example of it takes a little bit of know-how when it comes to reading the code in it. So see, that changed full name and that's now red, that sort of thing. So if you need help, of course, let us know. Another thing that people change is like the questions they ask on here. That's fully done from optional fields. So like if you want to say, are there stairs, or is there electric, just the general questions, you can just add those here. And then there's going to be a spot like, yes, add this to the checkout page, and you can add it there. Any questions like that. Those are just some basic changes to the checkout page. I wouldn't do too much more. You'll find it's kind of tough to do. You'll need some help. Another page that people like to make some small changes to that don't cause too much issues would be the contract page. Now, again, it looks wonky from here, because you'll remember it actually looks like this. Well, I guess I don't have one to show you. So the contract page is a little different than the contract template, of course, because the page is here's your contract template. The page is what is surrounding it. The page is what's that's allowing them to sign this here, the signature box, and where they make their payments. So this is the template. This part around it that holds the template would be the page. So I don't recommend doing a lot of changes to that either. If you go to your templates again, go to the contract page. Same thing, like people will change some wording. Like maybe you want this folder in red because nobody's signing and paying and they're wondering where their stuff is. That's that sort of thing. You do that. Maybe some wording here. You can't really change, you can't change like the credit card information that they fill in. That's not possible because that's going to be set up per your merchant services. But you can change little things like that. Like let's say that you can see This is for Akron. I'll go to an Akron event. And now that's in red. You can make it bigger, that sort of thing. So you're going to only want to make small changes to a template like this. Another one that people make a lot of changes to. Those are the two main ones here. Maybe the contact page, like if you're using the exact contact page here, maybe you want to add a box here. If you need help, of course, let us know. But you can even like add an optional field here. But this would just be the general contact page on your account. And it would look like that. So you can, again, maybe you want these removed and you just want one box that says full name. We can do something like that. Those are the main ones. There's lots of pages that can be changed. Again, it's tough if you don't know how to do a lot of the HTML, but that's where we're happy to help. So if you've come up with other ones that you think you might need help with, let us know. The best way, like for something like this, especially like if it's something like the design or whatever, a screenshot is helpful. Like, hey, I want this switched. I don't want it to look like this. I want it to look like this, that sort of thing. Email support. We can definitely help. If it's a complete overhaul of a template, sometimes it does take development hours and there might be a cost to it. But if it's something just like the design, colors or, just fonts, certain things like that, we can do for you without problem. So just let us know. Thank you.